Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode of Phins News. Today, we're going to be reacting to the Miami Dolphins season finale victory over the New England Patriots, 33-24, as well as the breaking news of the day. The Miami Dolphins parted ways with Brian Flores in a shocking move that shocked a lot of NFL fans and experts around the league. But without further ado, let's just get right into it, shall we? So the game yesterday on Sunday, we pretty much took control of the game from the very beginning. The Dolphins on their first drive, as you know, they went down the field methodically, got a couple good plays from Tua, were able to run the ball really well this game, which is a good. It was a good sign just because the New England Patriots do have a great defensive front. They can stop the run, but they were able to control the interior line pretty well. Our line did a pretty dang good job the whole day, besides a couple hiccups, but what line doesn't have it? But the line played really well for the most part. We were able to get up quick. We went up 7-0. And then not the very next possession, but the possession after, Mac Jones threw that pick six to Xavier Howard, which was just a great play by Xavier Howard. He baited Mac Jones into throwing that. Mac Jones was completely fooled by the coverage. He thought it was man to man because Xavier Howard was pressing the outside man to begin with, and he fell off the outside man, went to the inside guy, and just read it perfectly and took it to the house, which was awesome to see. I love seeing our defense having fun out there. Since our last game was kind of rough against the Tennessee Titans. But right from the beginning, then it was 14-0. And then the Dolphins actually ended up making it 17-0 with a field goal. And then, but it was a pretty dominant performance from the Dolphins. I couldn't complain. I was expecting them to come out and show some fight for the last game, even though they weren't playing for nothing, as we know. But I still like to see it. That was it was good for Flores to get them ready to play and play their butts off for the last game before. We were thinking momentum for next year maybe with Flores to keep building that winning culture, but like I said, we'll get into it. Right after this segment, we'll get into Brian Flores, no longer the head coach. But real quick, let's just read off the stats. Tua Tagovailoa, he wasn't asked to do much. He was 15 for 22. He only had 109 yards passing, one touchdown. But I did like to see he didn't have no turnovers. That was really nice to see. Even though he could have had, I would say, 2 or 3, the Patriots dropped a couple that were right in their hands. And it just seems like a lot of times when Tua throws an errant pass, the defense doesn't capitalize the majority of the time, which is really uncanny. It's a crazy ability to have when he throws it bad, and the defense just always seems to drop passes that don't look too hard to make, especially when you're in the pros. But he didn't make any mistakes this game, really, at least in the stat lines go. He was only, like I said, asked to throw the ball 22 times. The reason being is because our run game was amazing. If Duke Johnson ran the ball 25 times for 117 yards and a touchdown, Phillip Lindsay added 11 for 40 yards, and then Tua, the best thing he did yesterday was run the football when the pocket collapsed or he didn't feel comfortable. He took off, and we've been waiting to see it all year. Like, even though he's not fast or quick, he can make moves outside the pocket and gain yards if they're playing man-to-man or if there's a breakdown in the defense and there's a wide-open lane, he should take it. I mean, he extended the drive, 2 drives that were huge late in the game when the Patriots made it close. But he was able to get out of the pocket with his feet and run for like 15 yards, 10 yards. So it's good for us to actually see him doing it now. So, I mean, good for him. I mean, even if he's here next year, great. Hopefully he adds upon that as he gets more healthy and trusting that hip more. If not, I mean, he might have found something to help him stay in this league longer. You never know. But he had 5 carries for 38 yards. So we had a total of 195 yards on the ground yesterday. So it was a pretty dominant performance, like I said, from our line. They played really well, and it's good to see. Maybe they can develop a couple of those linemen to come be actually really good linemen, so we don't have to shuffle the whole line. I expect them to for sure keep Robert Hunt on the line next year. Possibly Michael Dieter, depending on what they do at center, if they like him or not. But I think he was a serviceable center. We didn't hear his name too much throughout the season. I know he was hurt for a little bit, but still, I think he was pretty solid for the first year ever playing center. At least starting center for the whole season. Besides when he was hurt, of course. Maybe they found something in Jones. I've been infatuated with him. He actually got the start yesterday. He played pretty well. But we definitely need to replace Jesse Davis. Austin Jackson, I don't know if they, once they get new coaches, if they can salvage him. But I think Jesse Davis and Austin Jackson are two guys that are probably going to have to go. I know Eichenberg was a rookie this year. He had some struggles, but he kind of started getting the pace of the NFL and adjusting to NFL lifestyle towards the end of the season. So they probably will keep him around to see if he can develop to that next level. So you're looking at right now having 3 linemen. So, I mean, they're probably going to go out and get at least another 2, maybe 3 in the offseason, hopefully to solidify the line. And whoever is playing quarterback will be able to benefit from that and our run game. We can just build on it. I mean, I'm also hoping because Duke Johnson was even saying he wanted to be here next year. So hopefully they can get him re-signed because he is an asset. I loved how he ran the ball late in the season when they actually gave him the opportunity. So hopefully they keep him and maybe Philip Lindsay and Myles Gaskin. Or they go get a bell cow in the draft or free agency. But we're going to have plenty of time to talk about that, guys. In the offseason, we'll be making videos about free agents we might target. But what I do want to get into now, real quick, for the Patriots, Mac Jones, he was 20 for 30, 261 yards. He had a touchdown and an interception. He lost a fumble. And he had a so-so game. Our defense pretty much shut him out. They let him get some passes. He made some plays, but once they got close to the end zone, they really tightened up. They were able to run the ball pretty well on our defense. They had a total of 134 yards. Bolden actually led the team in yardage with 46. It was just spread out across the board. And then Damian Harris had 37 and Stevenson had 34. So, I mean, overall, it was a great way to end the season. I enjoyed watching. Anytime I can watch the Dolphins, I'm going to do it. I'm a diehard fan, but I'm glad to see them at least come out on top and play. And the Patriots were playing for some. The Jets and Bills game was close for a long time, so it was good to see them have that fight to be able to beat a playoff team finally, and not just fold to them like many thought we would. So good to see. I mean, the season's officially over. We got to get into a lot of different things now that Flo has been let go. So let's get into that, shall we? I mean, when I woke up this morning, I was shocked to see. I didn't. I'm not saying I didn't see it coming. I've actually had conversations with a couple people, and just hearing what I've been hearing around the league, it was kind of a dicey situation with Flo, his relationship with Greer. They've been at odds for some time now. It wasn't really getting any better. So, and there was like communication issues, errors. Flores, everyone's speculating Flores didn't want Tua, he wanted Watson, and that kind of caused a rift in not only some of the guys in the locker room, but also upstairs in the organization. There was kind of a divide in the whole organization, and it seems like Stephen Ross wasn't having it. He wants to get a guy that he even said in his statements today. If you guys seen on the internet, they were saying how Stephen Ross said that he needs someone that's gonna come in and have a collaborative effort. And be willing to communicate. And so that leads me to believe that maybe Flores wanted just his way or pretty much the highway, and Stephen Ross doesn't like that way, how the leadership's working that way. So he wants to bring in a coach that's actually going to collaborate and have communication with the GM as well as the owner and the upper executives to come up with a solution. He doesn't want just one man taking all the control and demanding this and that. He doesn't want that type of coach, obviously. So it seems like that's why Flores might have been fired. But I was just stunned waking up. If he did get fired, I was speculating because of course, Harbaugh's talks came up again. So I was speculating. I think the only way that Stephen Ross fires Flores is if they have a deal in the works with Harbaugh from Michigan. But Stephen Ross kind of nixed that today, saying that he's not going to be in the running for Jim Harbaugh because he doesn't want to take away Harbaugh from Michigan, which makes sense because we all know Stephen Ross has big ties at Michigan, and he doesn't want to look like the bad guy to them because he does support them and give them a lot of booster money throughout the years. So maybe he might be telling the honest truth. He's not going to go after him, but maybe he's just doing it to kind of lessen the blow if he does decide to come to Miami. I see a lot of people in our YouTube community that are talking about, well, of course he's going to say that because he's a Michigan alumni, and I get that. But a lot of them are saying that, well, if Harbaugh actually just tells Michigan he's going to be going to the NFL, then at that point, it's fair game. Stephen Ross has the best shot to land Jim Harbaugh because of how close they are. Like he's even close to John Harbaugh. He was trying to go after him a couple years back as well. So he just has really close ties with the Harbaugh family because of Michigan. So, but that was the only way I could have seen Brian Flores being fired. I thought at the beginning of the year, I thought someone was going to have to be held accountable because they started off 1-7. But after they won that 7 games, I thought, oh, they're going to get another year. And if they don't make the playoffs next year, then at that point, Flores and Greer would be gone. That's why in my previous videos, I would always say, I mean, next year, Flores and Greer aren't going to bank on Tua making it to the playoffs with this team, so they're going to go after the for sure commodity and Watson. That was my whole point behind it. I mean, Tua can develop and get better, but I still don't think even if he develops and get better, he's going to ever be on the Watson level. It's just, there's levels to this. There's levels to quarterback play, and he can get into the very good range of quarterbacks, but he's never going to be special or in that elite category in my eyes. I mean, we've seen it now, but, very good's doable, serviceable, but the reason why there's so many people banging the table for Watson, because when you see Watson play and you see how Tua plays, I mean, they're not even the same category or universe. That's why there's never a quarterback of his age and his talent level is never available to just take off another team's hands. They're keeping that quarterback forever. He's under contract. They're never getting rid of him because how special he is. But the fact that he was available and is available right now, that's what's making a lot of fans, like Dolphin fans, want him because of his age and finally having the top 5 quarterback. Because if you guys know, top 5 quarterbacks are hard to come by. I mean, that's why they're in that elite category. I mean, it's even hard to draft an elite quarterback. I mean, there's so many quarterbacks drafted every year, and more than half turn out to be maybe not failures, but not as good as they thought they were. That's why they got drafted so high. So that's where the conflicts come in with the Dolphin fans. But with Flores being fired, that changes everything, man. I mean, we're gonna get a whole new coaching staff, and it's not a bad thing if we can actually upgrade the coaching position. Like, if we go out and get a Harbaugh, cool. He puts together a great staff. I mean, that's an upgrade. Of course, I'm happy. I'm happy with upgrading any position, even coaches. But we can't go out there and get a first-time head coach in my eyes again. We've done it multiple times. It's failed. We've tried to get an offensive guru in Gase. Turned out he wasn't that good of a coach. He was let go. We go get a first-time head coach, and even Joe Philbin didn't work out. He got fired. We got a first-year head coach in Flores. I mean, he had pretty good success, I would say, having the first back-to-back winning seasons in Dolphins history since 2003. I believe that was the report said. But they had to let him go because they felt he was probably detrimental to the organization because of how he wanted to run things. That's how it seemed, even with if you've seen the reports with Omar Kelly today, when Stephen Ross addressed the media, how he was saying it's just a communication failure. He has the big word Stephen Ross used today with all the media is he wanted it to be more collaborative, which means he wants them to get together as a group and come up with an idea and a plan, not one person trying to make the decisions. And I think that's what Flo wanted it his way, and he had a way it could succeed, and that was the only way he was going to run it. He don't want anyone's opinion on the matter, and maybe that could have been his downfall. But I mean, hats off to Flores. I mean, show him some respect. The first year, they were horrible, but he was playing with practice players. Our practice squad players, they had no business being in any game. And for them to win with 5 games that year, that was astonishing. But Fitzpatrick did have a great year that year. And then he went 10-6 and then 9-8 collectively. Even though we're disappointed in the 9-8 this year, I mean, at least that coaching staff brought us back from the dead at 1-7 and made it an entertaining season towards the end. I mean, we got to see meaningful football games in December and even the first week of January. Who would have thought that when we were 1-7? No one. So hats off to him. I'm sure he's gonna land on his feet and find a new head coaching job. Maybe even this head coaching cycle. There's like 4 or 5 availabilities now. So he might get one. He might go back to be a defensive coordinator and get one the following year. But he's gonna be fine. The Dolphins still owe him 2 years of salary. But it was just a surprising move, even around the NFL. If you look at all the players tweeting that this was a mistake, even Stephon Gilmore went out to defend him. The Dolphin players on defense at least came out and they were shocked by it. They didn't see it coming. So he's a good coach in the sense that players definitely respect him. I know maybe one of his biggest downfalls was the whole debacle with trying to get Watson in the middle of a season with Tua. Kind of not backing him, they say. So, I mean, if he got out in front of it and he knew what Tua was, then maybe he's right in the end. But the Stephen Ross decided to do what he did. I'm still going to support the Dolphins. I'm excited to see who the coaching candidates are. And on Friday we'll do a deeper dive into who the possible candidates are. As time gets out and there's more and more reports. But on the short list, I mean, Harbaugh, of course, is a hot commodity. We got the Chiefs offensive coordinator, Bahimini. He can be, I mean, he's good. We got Brian Dable from the Buffalo Bills, and he was also coached Tua in Alabama his freshman year. So that's another possibility if he wants to come be a head coach for the Dolphins. A lot of people are even throwing out Doug Peterson. He's really good offensive mind. Maybe he can come and if he decides to keep Tua, he keeps Tua. If not, then they go after Watson or whatever other quarterback. Stephen Ross even made that a point in his conference availability to the media. I mean, about it's going to be the new coach's decision if he's going to stick with Tua or he's going to move forward with another quarterback. So he's leaving it up to the head coach on that one. So only, I mean, we'll just wait and see what transpires in the next couple weeks and see who their head coach is going to be. But it's going to be, I promise you, exciting times. We'll dive more into the firing and all the implications of what comes out on Friday, like I said, since there's no pregame show. And then I'll still be making 2 videos during the offseason each week for you guys, just providing content and breaking the news down and looking forward to free agency and then the draft, if we even have draft picks, unless if we stick with Tua, we'll have draft picks, so we'll dissect our possible draft selections when it gets closer. But we'll be still providing content at least twice a week. If there's breaking news like today, I'll go and post a video about that. But other than that, guys, I just want to say I appreciate each and every one of y'all. I mean, I made this channel only a couple months ago, but I'm just so grateful for the support and the subscribers and the people just constantly coming here and viewing my videos and posting comments. I appreciate each and every one of y'all. And other than that, fins up, guys, and stay safe out there. It's a crazy world with everything going on. Yeah, like I said, I'll be back on Friday, and we'll discuss the coaching vacancy and the process of when they're going to try to name a new head coach, which I would think they would do it rather soon. But we'll get into that Friday, guys. All right, but other than that, guys, like I said, I love each and every one of you. Fins up, and make sure you hit that like button and hit the subscribe button so we can grow this channel organically and we can keep providing you with more and more content moving forward. All right, guys? All right, guys. I'm out. Peace.